lot of rest anyway. Thank you. But let me see Gemma, and I'm glad to be here. Okay, in a very short while, I'll bring you the first thing that will have lined for your viewing pleasure this morning, and that is press review. Hold on. Okay, joining me this morning to look at what the papers are saying is Mr. Chuka Uzeze. Mr. Chuka, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Naija, and viewers. Welcome to the show.
You look refreshed.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you're welcome. As usual, let's begin from the beginning, which is from our website this morning. Very unique trending news. UNICEF introduces runner in schools to facilitate teaching, learning English and mathematics. UNICEF introduces runner in schools to facilitate teaching, learning English, mathematics. Anambra Assembly Speaker Okafor asks federal government to increase budgetary allocation to Ministry of Science and Technology. Nigerian Institute of Safety Engineers Anambra State inaugurates new ESCO members. These and many more are the news making the rounds from our website this morning, www.absradiotvoka.com. Okay, there's a lot of things, Chuka, that is coming into the system, educational system in Anambra in particular, at least to make sure that we reclaim our first position in the country. This is one of them.
Yeah, yes. While I'll applaud that novel innovation, I will also insist or suggest that Anambra State and Nigeria and Africa in general domesticate the runner. Because, sometimes when you take in some innovations, hook, line, and sinker, and adopt it that way, is going to make some improvements to the situation, but then it might not give the best results given what you have on ground. So it's left for the State Ministry of Education to look at the runner and find a nexus between the capabilities and resources we have as a people, and then because now the emphasis is on English and maths, because that is the language of the world. And the language of the world in the sense that the global, the one of the popular language of the world that will make us be dependent on the technologies of other people. We have technology that is peculiar to our people. How will this English and maths help Anambra, Nigeria and Africa optimize the resources we have and take what we have to the world competitively? So that is what they are going to do about the runner. So if they could, in Anambra State, look at runner, not just English, we can also explore using runner in Igbo, in agriculture, laying emphasis on those agricultural resources that is peculiar to Anambra, Nigeria, and Africa, so that we can now export Africa, Nigeria, and Anambra to the world. So, not just taking it that way. That way, we are just becoming a market for their product, because these things, they think it through, they prepare it, preparing you for dependency on a technology that, because we are in the era of artificial intelligence, good enough, China has keyed into it, and now they are at the forefront of artificial intelligence. What are we doing about it? So is there a common thread between this runner and the technologies of tomorrow for the people of Anambra, for the people of Nigeria, for the people of Africa. So these are things they look at critically and see how they domesticate it, rearrange it, re-engineer it in such a way that we are not kept at the receiving end. Rather, we are at the giving end at the end of the day. Yes. Then also on the other aspect, the speaker talking about giving more for budgetary allocation to
Minister of Science,
and Technology also. So you find that there's a nexus. So if, and also security, because insecurity scares away,
everything you want to put on ground.
So the runner is the educational reforms or innovation, then science and technology. So emphasis on science, because there's no just like you go to some universities, they will be studying aeronautical engineering, study some technology that we can never, we have no infrastructure, we have no plan to go. So there should be a nexus between the science and technology, especially in areas we have the resources, abundant resources. Die down other areas we don't have a competitive advantage, and then
where we are strong too.
Where we are strong, that's what I'm saying.
Based on what we can do for ourselves.
And for ourselves, and then
be able to export it too.
Yes. So that is what I advise the state government, the concerned ministries, and then already I know the government of the day is doing a lot about security, but then especially in December period, a lot of people might want to come back, but because of the insecurity, it will always scare them away. So I think
not just the people coming back to celebrate.
Not just like the budgetary allocation. The investors too. It's not just because when we talk about budgetary allocation, increasing it, you might not necessarily say, okay, I'm giving 30% of the budget to security alone. That might give room to more graft, if there's graft existing in that area already. But you can also reserve for every other sector within the budgetary allocation that a certain percentage in every ministry or department be provided for security. So they find out how they are going to, make a provision for security and how they are going to domesticate or articulate part of their budget for security within that sector. Not just pushing it to security departments.
Not generally.
So that is
in every area, every aspect
so
of
that
the
cumulatively now you can still get
there
up
is
to
provision
30%
for security. Because if you say like in science and technology, if there is no security to secure what we have on ground, and that simply means we are just wasting money in that area and so many other areas. I got your drift. Thank you very much. Okay, finally from our website, Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers, Anambra State inaugurates new ESCOs. And that's the last we have in our, and I think it happened, was it last Wednesday? Okay, that's the last we have in our website. Let's move on now to the papers. The first paper this morning is the Daily Sun. And the banner headline there says, Power Show at NAS. 2 clerks emerge as outgoing one refuses to vacate office. Power Show at NAS, that's the National Assembly. 2 clerks emerge as outgoing one refuses to vacate office, is the banner headline this morning. On top of that banner headline, we'll have CJN swears in 62 lawyers today as SAN. And then beside the NEN template, fuel scarcity persists as filling stations ration products, not just rationing it, increasing the price at will. Okay. Let's see other stories coming from the Daily Sun. Governor Adeleke assumes office, pledges to correct injustices in Oshu, with a rider there, cancels 11th hour appointments by outgone governor, names SSG, COS and CPS. And then at the bottom of that paper, troops kill 4 bandits in Kaduna. Other stories coming from here. IGP orders CPs to strategize, protect INEC offices. Others, a heaps of decayed naira found in refuse stamp. Currency outside banks rose from 108.67 billion naira to 2.84 trillion naira in October. 2023 replaced Tinubu as presidential candidate, Atiku tells APC. Again, women to occupy NAS to force lawmakers to represent rejected gender bills. Don't wait till 40, 50 before taking up head leadership Olaikon, Ona Nweke Junior Church Youths, and then so many other stories coming from here. Let's look at another story before we start talking. Another paper, the New National Star, is our next paper. On the banner headline there is the Adeleke. Adeleke takes over as Osun governor, freezes government accounts, reverses state name, and then with a rider, another rider, they're saying we left 14 billion naira in Osun coffers coming from Oyetola handover notes. Okay. NDLE Napsman 56 with cocaine hidden in sandals declares kingpin wanted. INEC office set ablaze in Ebonyi. Very horrible trend. Security situation in Enugu worsens as government declared 10-day sit at home. What's in this one coming? Okay, honor your words. Free Kanu Huriwa text Buhari. Honor your words. Free Kanu Huriwa. It's a human rights organization tax Buhari. Okay, let's get back to the Daily Sun. Let's first of all look at the scarcity, the fuel scarcity as it's trending. Okay, what led to this? Are we going to see the end? If yes, when?
Well, that's best left for the government and Ministry of Petroleum Resources to answer. The truth is that ordinary Nigerians have learned to, lose the dependency on government to actually solve their problem, ordinary problems. We know that definitely this government, the government of the day, is not going to solve the problem, fuel problem in Nigeria. So we are looking forward to the new government and see how innovative, how creative they're going to be about, how resolute they're going to be about solving permanently the fuel crisis we are having. This is all about looking for water in the middle of a fresh water, maybe freshwater body. So that's the situation of fuel, problems in Nigeria. So
what exactly is the problem? Is it
we are at the point, almost at the tail end of the leadership that promised us 3 refineries in the first year, 3 working refineries. At the tail end of their government, there's no working refinery. So that is the summary of the situation. So if we are lucky to have enough fuel to keep us till the end of the administration, then we are lucky. If not, we only hope that we have enough to see a change of governance, progressive one at that.
I actually want to know, is it the issue of the fuel subsidy, and then what about the local refineries? Because I've always said you can't do it, you should allow the next person that can do it to do it. You can tax them, you can encourage them and receive tax. If there's people that can refine this fuel and supply it to us, why don't we have it now?
It's about beating the dead horse, a dead horse. We're just coming out from the story that for almost a year, more than a year, that our crude oil had been siphoned or stolen, because in another word, we'll be trying to, play down on the, the seriousness of the matter. Stolen for over years, and everybody pretended that they don't know about it until it took a private contractor to, find it out after a month of being engaged as a security, So that's about it. So we know that we have Nigerians that have refineries outside Nigeria.
Okay, before we continue, the trend of discovering all these siphoning channels, it's dying down. So has something exchanged hands?
The truth is that, from my own perspective, Nigeria, there is a scramble for the resources of Nigeria by cabals, not just one cabal now. A lot of thieves in the high places, political thieves, corporate thieves are trying to loot Nigeria dry. Are trying to loot Nigeria dry, believing that Nigeria will not work. Because the way they are looting the resources of Nigeria, if you see from
let me get all I could before the whole
you can imagine collapses. The quantum of decaying and disused
money,
naira and dollar that is being discovered because of these 2 new policies. The reprinted naira and then the deadline for the dates and all whatnot. So you find out that some people have so much that they cannot take it to the bank. and they cannot even care after it.
That is sad.
They cannot look
and they
after
can't give
the
it to
quantum.
me. They can't even give it to me.
Because questions will come. Where did you get this money from? Because there's the quantum of money you will be spending. People will start asking questions. Where are you getting this money from? So they looted so much that the best they can do is leave it there to rot away. So that is the state of Nigeria. So the same thing is happening with our resources. People have been
especially oil. But
benefiting from
recently,
oil.
Chuka, are you saying that we're not going to have improvements in the supply of this oil or production and supply of this oil since we started discovering oils in almost all the states in there? And then there's this drilling of oils here and there.
The question is anybody in control? If you look at what has been happening at the national level, for any major activity, you find that even within the Federal Executive Council, there are dissenting voices, there are disagreements whether this particular action passed through due process or whether there's a general agreement before this action took place. So the question is anybody truly in charge of this government?
Too bad.
Is anybody truly in charge of governance at the federal level? Who is really responsible? So that is why this, for the first time in the history of Nigeria, instead of the president of Nigeria, instead of people talking about the president of Nigeria, the government of Nigeria is talking about the presidency. It's all about the presidency. It's not about the president. So, and that is why we are praying to Nigeria, please, we should not vote in another presidency. We should vote in a president who will take responsibility for everything.
I see. Okay.
So until then, Nigerians cannot hold anybody responsible. If you throw up a person who will not be responsible, then we have nobody to hold accountable.
Okay. Okay, past show at NAS, 2 clerks emerge as outgoing one refuses to vacate office. Is this the level of impunity we have found ourselves? Why won't you vacate office? Because nobody agrees to anybody. That nobody is in charge, like you said. People do anything they like and get away with it.
Nobody is responsible for anything in Nigeria. That is the situation. From everything that happens, you find out that nobody is accountable, nobody is responsible. So individuals, companies, corporate, I will tell you that if the tax returns for this year might be the worst for years, because nobody will be accountable, nobody will be responsible. I am sure of that.
Scary.
Yes.
The new governor of Osun State, Adeleke, how will you assess him?
Well,
and another thing I would like you to talk about is this issue of outgoing governors or executives employing people at the dying minute.
Laying ambush.
You know? Okay, is that what you call it? Laying ambush?
Laying ambush, sure. If in another story he said that how did he manage to govern the state without borrowing any money? That's a good one. But on the other hand, you find out that just at the twilight of his administration, he went on ahead and appointed, I think, that's something permanent secretaries and so many other directors. So now, I believe and I hope and do pray that he made adequate provisions for these appointments, not appointing them and leaving. Maybe if they're supposed to have vehicles and or whatnot, then the so-called billions you kept behind might not be even enough to take care of their position, their post, their offices, the enablements for them to take off. And because for having such amount of permanent secretaries, does it mean you have a retirement within the last week or last few weeks before this appointment? Because if you are having that quantum of a number of permanent secretaries and directors, what happens to the existing ones? Or have you been running the government without permanent secretaries? And because I know there's a civil service rule and regulation that determines all these things by progression, by promotion, and all whatnot. So I don't know how it just happened at the tail end, or did he refrain from promotions and appointments for the past 8 years just to do that?
Minutes.
So these are the issues. So until we see or hear from Adeleke and see how he will dance around this new situation,
I think it was a situation of not knowing that he will not make another 4 years. Perhaps this is what he wanted to do in the next 4 years that he's going to be there, but unluckily for him, he wasn't there, so he tried to push in, squeeze in everything before leaving. But that has been the trend with our executives. When you are leaving, you create problem for the incoming administration. That's not good enough. Okay, let's move on. That story is still trending in National Star. Another story I'd like us to look at in National Star is Nigeria not among Africa's growing industrial nations. South Africa top charts. It does appear that Nigeria is not existing again.
Yes.
When are we going to get out of this?
The fastest growing economy in 2015.
Just 2015.
From the fastest growing economy, not just in Africa.
7 years ago.
In the world, to the poverty capital of the world. And then if you look at the number of industries and firms that left Nigeria for Ghana and other adjoining economies in the past 7 years, you find out that Nigeria is bleeding, Nigeria is dying. And these are jobs, these are business opportunities, these are taxes and incomes leaving Nigeria. And then this is also our foreign exchange, because if you are not producing it in Nigeria, Nigerians must consume it. So we have to use a hard-earned forex that is not even there again to go and import what we have been producing for ourselves otherwise, simply because we don't have the enabling environment. The infrastructure
we don't have leadership.
That's what I'm saying. Because we don't have leadership, the infrastructure, security, and all whatnot. So these are the things. So we are only hoping and praying that Nigeria decides right, so that we might see a stop to this backsliding, and then see if we can start making a U-turn and then move back to the road to positive growth.
Okay. So. INEC office set ablaze in Ebonyi. What exactly is going on in Ebonyi, security-wise, apart from this INEC office being set up, set on fire? We have security challenges in Anambra. Okay, but then that of Ebonyi and the Enugu state seems to be scary. We're going to join it with the other story that says security situation in Enugu worsens as government declared 10-day sit at home. What exactly is going on in the southeast?
Well, it started with Imo State. When their governor came hard on these miscreants, he moved into Anambra, sharing border with them. Now that Governor Soludo has come on hard on the activities of these insurgents, because that's the way I see them, it has spilled over to Enugu and Ebonyi. Anambra had been the capital of Monday sit at home. Now, Enugu is in the news for something similar to that. Now, an extreme situation. This calls for emergency, security emergency. Not just for Enugu, because that's why I said we don't have a national leadership. Sani Abacha, late Sani Abacha, once said that if any insecurity activity takes place and lasts for 48 hours, that a top government official or politician is involved. Period. As a military strategist, that there's no way any act of insurgency can take place and keep on happening, existing for 48 hours. Does it mean you don't have a military in that country? Does it mean that the DSS is not doing their work, and so on and so forth? Does it mean we don't have enough policemen, and so on and so forth? So a simple police action can resolve all these things, but I think there's a grand plan to distract Nigerians while the actual crime they wanted to commit keeps going on. So I hope that this is not a ploy to subvert the will of the masses come 2023, election-wise. Creating this confusion, creating this insecurity up and down, so that people will be scared, and then we have low voter turnout, and elections will be rigged somewhere. So that is where I want governors, I want towns to look into, because these people must regroup somewhere before they take activity. Hear something, say something. That is community-based policing. There's no way a large number of people who can wreak this havoc can aggregate without the community knowing. So any community that sees such should escalate, information about this to responsible security agencies so that the right actions will be taken. If they don't take action now, we know there is complicity between the security agencies and what's happening. So burning of INEC office was the intent. And you find out that at the point most parties now are urging people to go and pick up their PVCs. Because it seems that even in the press, there's even INEC is not, going about it the way I want. I want anytime you open, at least in the everyday, they should have jingles 2-3 times every day, urging people to come and pick up your PVCs.
And get ready for
election. Also, I expect them to open their portals now that if you key in your capture details or registration detail for the voter registration, that you'll be able to see exactly where you're supposed to pick your card.
And whether it's ready or not,
and where to and when to pick up the card. I don't know whether you're getting me.
Why do you think these things are not that way?
When you don't have the right manpower, you don't have the political will.
Which manpower? This is an independent organization.
I wouldn't know their staff strength, but I know that they have the technology to do that.
What do you call it? Unemployment around. No, with all this unemployment around, they can't recruit people.
Even with that, we don't need much people, because the technology they are using now can, with few people, they can process all these things. And even like if they have added phone numbers to the new captures, you send an SMS. It won't cost them much. All these automated short message services can do these things automatically. That once any card is ready, send this a pre-recorded SMS to this number. That's all. Nobody have to send it directly.
Okay, Chuka, let's still look at what's going on in the Southeast. The other day, that was last month when they had meeting of this, the Governors Forum. They proposed a regional security that will take care of what's going on now. Then Ebebago is also there. What exactly do we take home from this? Are they going to organize another one apart from Ebebago? And then if they're going to put another one up, are they going to work hand in hand with Ebebago? What is going on? Why can't we organize ourselves here?
It's all, like I said earlier, it's still all about a grand scheme. Partisan interest above the interest of ordinary Nigerian citizens. These politicians are using Nigerians as a pawn in their games. The interest, the security, and the well-being of ordinary Nigerians is not the priority of our leaders. If it is the priority of our leaders, it won't take anything. I tell you, Southeast can be secured with ordinary vigilante services. That is the truth. If the 5 governors of the Southeastern states, as the chief security officers of their states, declares this area of security as an emergency and commits certain resources to it, is not pulling it together per se, but having a common strategy. I tell you, engaging a satellite company can give them real-time information about the movement of all these people. It doesn't take anything. If Nigeria cannot respond, they just pay a foreign satellite firm to do the mapping and provide some visual intelligence for them, and then a crack team will move in and then arrest the institution. Because these miscreants, they have communication channels. When a place is hot, they move to another area, regroup, and start giving problem there again. If the place gets hot again, they move to another area, regroup, and start giving problem again. If you look, anyway, it's not about, I believe now, another thing that is happening is that you have a multi-party situation, unlike what the Southwest is doing up there with their, what's their own, Amoteku. The Ebebago is having its challenges because, the 2 APC states agree with the 2 PDP states and the APGA state. So we have a
But it does
particular...
appear it's the APC state that are using Obibago in Ebonyi and the Imo states.
That's what I'm saying now. Because they are key to the center.
And that's why I asked, is Obibago a national vigilante?
It's not a national vigilante. And that's why PDP states will not like to key into the Obibago if the APC governors are at the forefront of the Obibago.
What has it got to do with our security here?
That is the issue. So
it was supposed to be a regional security outfit.
Because they are from different parties, they are interested in winning other states to their party and not winning the state for the people.
Too bad.
So it's about the party, not about the people.
Okay, let's move on. Daily Independence is our next paper this morning. And then the banner headline there, Naira redesign. CBN considers regulation to prohibit large withdrawals. With a rider there, decision will boost cashless policy. And this one is coming from the analyst. APC rejection of Beavers and IREV ploy to rig 2023 poll is coming from CUPP. Oil theft, Serap drags Buhari to court over illegal pipelines. And then down here, Adeleke Council's appointments met by Oyetola in the last 3 months. Wow. Okay. And then federal government sends Abuja Kaduna train services resumption, says national ID now mandatory before boarding, and one jailed as INEC vows to prosecute Electoral Act violators. With rider there, another arrested on trial for being in possession of 367 PVCs. I saw this in social media. I didn't believe it. How did they get access to those ones, and where are they taking it to? You know, I don't know. Okay, very unstable house. The Nation newspaper is our newspaper this morning. Nation newspaper banner headline, 2023, another attack on INEC office raises concern over polls. Let's look at the rider. IG orders CPs to take action. Commission seeks probe into attacks on facilities. I want to see the action yield results. Okay. Disquieting customs service has stopped officers seek tenure extension. Okay, federal government bans export of raw gold is another story coming from us. But on top of the name template, Adeleke, I will strengthen security, boost workers' welfare. Tinubu, most experienced candidate, says Ayade. And then Azura targets 3,500 megawatt power generation. Morocco's win over Belgium trails Okocha. Okay, these are the stories from these two newspapers. Let's take Guardian again. Guardian newspaper, despite large fleet, 100% fare hike, disruption awaits festive travels. Okay, that's the banner headline in the Guardian newspaper, and I think that's all we'll take from there. Daily Trust is our last paper, so that we'll start talking. Daily Trust is our last paper. SMEs decry registration hurdles. And the writers say, account opening process frustrating. Business owners say that. And then banks reject applications. And then SCUML procedure not cumbersome is coming from EFCC. Other stories from here. Finance Ministry denies budget padding. Importers kick as cost of containers from China rises by 2.6 million naira. Imagine this. Kaduna Abuja train, federal government shifts resumption, Moore's fare hike. Okay. Daily Trust, Hamza Idris win, and then INEC Ebonyi office raised 340 ballot boxes, others destroy, change of batting, name as Adeleke takes charge of Oshun. Okay, these are the stories from the papers we have seen. So let's get back to Daily Independence and look at the banner headline there. Naira redesign, CBN considers regulation to prohibit large withdrawals. That's the banner headline with the rider there. Decision will boost cashless policy. We have started talking about this when we mentioned some of the problems we are seeing now because of the redesign, discovery of dented Naira notes and a whole lot of things. Chuka,
Nigeria.
Is this actually going to, boost cashless policy? Because we had this cashless policy in place before this redesign, and people are still stocking cash in their houses and a whole lot of places to the extent that it got destroyed.
The question is, how do people get access to these humongous cash in the first place? They are all proceeds of crime. Either embezzled government funds for projects, which they cannot keep in banks, because the question will be, how come these huge cash deposits, where do it come from? Secondly, from crime, people who are into trafficking any of these illegal substances, people, robbery, kidnapping, and so on. That's how. So how do they now push these cash into the bank? They have no known businesses. The few people who can do this, people who have reasonable businesses, are also into crime. They're able to, launder some of these. But you find out that when they have access to huge, through crime and maybe through direct taking away or stealing from government directly, especially politicians, they find it difficult taking it back into the system through the right channel. So now, the good thing about this process now is that CBN is talking about having a limited amount to be printed. So even when you request the cash, nobody will give you cash now. Make transfers. Yes. So it's not like before they print, large quantity, because it's from government house that they start having access to. When the governor says, it tells a bank manager, bring so amount of million in cash. He will bring it joyfully.
And Ghana must go.
And Ghana must go. So from government house, these monies start to move into private homes and stays there without leaving. So if there should be a policy also that government, if government wants a cashless policy, government should be at the forefront of not spending cash. That is the truth. It is, whether it's dollar, whether it's more than 70% of these, monies outside banking sector, it happen from government houses and government establishments. If government should come up with a policy that no government should spend cash, that will solve the problem. Yes. Let government implement 100% electronic money transfer or policy. These problems will stop. Kidnappers will now know that nobody can have access to that quantum of cash.
Okay,
even
so
government.
When you kidnap, no cash.
It's not available. It's transfer now.
And when it's transferred, it could be traceable.
Simple.
But this wasn't. They even transfer now. Nobody's tracing anything.
That's the thing. So, but when they do that now, it's now possible. Maybe, I don't know how else they will, but once everybody knows that there's not enough cash to go around, the only thing they might do now is to go to dollar, find dollar, get us dollar. Even if you don't have, get dollar. But let's pray it doesn't get to that, because I saw somewhere last week that bandits kidnapped people somewhere in the north and requested for dollar. So,
and then some of the safers. I heard that
one. So,
it's a horrible thing.
I will pray we don't degenerate to that level.
Honestly.
Yes.
Okay. Let's look at other stories we saw. Another attack on INEC. We have seen that story. We have also seen this one. And then somebody is saying that Tinubu is the most experienced candidate. That's coming from Ayade. And with what is going on in Tinubu's campaign and the experiences and what everybody is experiencing, how he goes and a whole lot of things, can somebody now come out and say that he is the most experienced?
For somebody even to say that, somebody in the place of a governor, coming out to say that Tinubu is the most qualified or most experienced candidate, begs the question or the reason behind such assertion. Why?
Let's join it with Atiku's call. Atiku was calling them to make a change.
So now the issue is, you don't need to defend something that is credible, that is obvious, that is sound. It is something that has fault, that you need to come up with excuses. You need to get people to defend. When something is, if it, in the Igbo adage we say that somebody who has an enlarged scrotum, the only way to, or somebody who is accused of having an enlarged scrotum, that the only thing he has to do is to, remove the wrapper, and everybody will see for themselves.
Whether he does.
Yes. So let him come out and engage the public, and let's see how experienced he is.
He's engaging now.
How? Behind APC crowd. Let him face the press independently.
By purchasing roasted corn.
No. Let him engage the media, engage like other, in groups like other presidential aspirants. Don't send representations. So if he's fit, if he's experienced, we want to engage with him. Let him engage with Nigerian students. Let him engage with journalists, openly, freely.
Okay, but let's look at Article's call. Is it possible for APC to change their presidential candidates at this stage?
Everything is possible
in Nigeria.
If Supreme Court can make somebody a governor, the person, the third position,
fourth position,
from fourth position to first, then anything is possible. So they can use because you cannot do anything. Once Supreme Court rules, then that, and they now have they are in charge. APC in charge of the Supreme Court as far as Nigerians are concerned. So they can do that if they wish or will to so. But then we only hope that Nigerians will make their own, decide for themselves. Like it said, every people gets what they deserve, the leadership they deserve. Nigerians deserve the best, not just better. Nigerians deserve the best. So let us as a people vote for progress.
And give ourselves the best.
Not just the president. It is time Nigerians leave parties alone and vote individuals with track record across state house assemblies, local government chairmen, governors, National Assembly, and the presidents. So that we have people who have the interest of Nigeria at heart, not people who live more outside the country or stays more, goes for, if they want to eat, they go to Europe to eat. If they are sick, they go to Europe to look after themselves. If they want to train their children, they go to Europe to train their children. We want people who live here with us, who have reasonable and meaningful investments, who employ people here in Nigeria, who have reasonable businesses, who are feeling the pains Nigerians are feeling here in Nigeria. They will want Nigeria to work. And not people who don't have any reasonable investment in Nigeria, except from proceeds of crime or through selling off government properties and all whatnot. People who have businesses they grew from scratch or who have rose through the ranks, working in different sectors within the economy. That way, they know what other people are feeling. They are grassroots people who are feeling. They are being in constant communication with people at the grassroots. So they know that it is only through governance that they can really help these people down from their personal pulse. So when they get to government, you see them trying as much as possible to make the environment very convenient, make it work, so that nobody needs to come to you to ask for any support. They can support themselves in the system.
So that what they go out there to enjoy in Europe and America will be replicated here.
Exactly.
APC rejection of beavers and then IREF ploy to rig 2023 poll. CUP has been crying about rigging and rigging and rigging. Can we for once give them attention? Do you think they have a reason for this cry?
On so many occasions, INEC has said that there's no going back on beavers. And that is what I believe almost every Nigeria believes and expects. Let INEC not go back on this statement. Let them not give us any reason why any attempt to leave beavers is an obvious action towards rigging the election for a particular party. On no occasion, if beavers won't work on that day, they should postpone that election and have a rerun.
I was actually going to ask you that because that's where we have had problem in the past.
If beavers will not work that day, postpone the results of the elections and the result for the next 30 days. We will wait. Nigerians can wait. Let them give us no reason. Nigerians will not take any nonsense from anybody. I don't know who is burning INEC offices now. We don't want NSAS to repeat, and INEC and other civil servants will become targets of decision of politicians conniving with few people or few heads in INEC offices, because you cannot commit any fraud, electoral fraud, without participants from within INEC. So I will also advise every INEC staff to independently get evidence of collusion of either your fellow staff or other political parties, or particular political actors who attempted to use INEC to rig election. Get independent evidence and make it public, either covertly or overtly. That way, I think we can put an end. And I think this time around, after post-election, that the most punitive sanctions for electoral violators should be implemented, so that next election cycle we see less violators. So BVAS must hold. This is what Nigerians hoped for. It is because of BVAS that many people were disenfranchised from even getting their voters card. Yes, so that they will have enough time. If BVAS won't work, let's do option A4. If BVAS will not work, then it should be option A4 all over the country on camera. So every result will come with a video.
Okay.
If you are coming, wear your party color or wear your party shirt or write the party on your body and stand in a queue. So the result plus the video and the queue, we use the most cool technology. So if BVAS as watertight security will not work, then we go back to the local, then it will cost us less.
Option A4.
Option A4, simple. Yes. Then party agents will just use a video and cover when they are doing the counting. Even a primary school child will see when fraud happens in that scenario. That's all.
So why did you guys jettison that option A4?
We guys? No. You see, the beauty of technology is that it helps and makes things easier. If we get on to BVAS, it is a step towards diaspora participation in voting. It is a step forward.
But they're not participating now.
But that is why people are even happy it's coming on board, because it's when you have such technologies in place that you can have early voting, you can have people in diaspora voting, you can have staggered voting, and you can have what you call real-time, on-time collation of election results. So that is it. So, but if the BVAS will not work all through, then we should still go back to option A4, maybe a modified BVAS after option A4. Directly from there, everybody will key in the results into the central server, directly giving the port, and then we move on from there.
All right, thank you. Finally, from here, Finance Minister denies budget padding. That's the last story we'll take, and it's coming from the Daily Trust. Finance Minister denies budget padding. That's this story of accusation of budget padding everywhere in the ministries, in the states level, and then in the federal, everywhere budget padding. Now that we are going through a kind of regeneration in our finances, do you think this will help to checkmate this budget padding?
Shouting that there is no budget padding will not remove the padding in the budget. If everything in Nigeria is going wrong, you think it's only the budget will be free of
corruption.
We know that from time immemorial, no matter what you say, the budget will always be padded. But how padded is the budget? That is the issue. Definitely budgets at the state level, at federal level, they will all be padded, but the degree and nature of padding is what, because is one thing they don't do is making, these are supposed to be public documents. When they present this into National Assembly, I think they should go also a step forward to put these things up online for individuals, for ordinary citizens to see where their money, their taxpayers' money is going into. When every year you look at the budgetary provision for running of the kitchen of the presidency. You look at cutleries. Every year, there's provision for cutleries. There are provision for Aso Rock equipment for Aso Rock clinic.
Kitchen utensils. So every year you...
So you wonder whether, of course, these millions and billions they are voting for such trivial things. Are they made of gold? Do they take away, maybe after each dinner, after people come for dinner,
eat the cutleries with
they also consume the cutleries and so on. Or maybe the saliva from guests is not allowed to, be reintroduced into, I don't know. So the truth is that they pad all these things up. And until, like somebody has said so many times, that until we reduce the cost of governance, little will be left for the actual work government is supposed to do. So it's scaling down all through the cost of running the government. You see a lot of duplicity. If you look at, you see agencies with overlapping functions and activity. The same thing they are doing here, they are doing here. Just like we talked about security. Not voting more money here, and not creating security agencies or units within, but now happen more on making provisions for security protocol within every safety and security within all they are doing. It will improve on the security, reporting, vigilance, or whatnot, surveillance. Be part of reports, be part of what they are doing. Then on the other hand, this budget padding issue, we know until they make it public, is people that we know we decide whether it's padded or not. When ordinary individuals on the street knows that the market price or the competitive price for something is less than 100 naira, and in the budget is 1,000 there. The question is, this 900 naira on top of the street value of that, where does it go to? Because government will even have, a competitive bid. If they're buying much, the price should go less. Okay. So these are the things.
And I know that they used to return leftovers after the year. I don't know whether they still do now. But that's okay for today. Thank you very much, Chuka. Thank you. It's been a very exciting one this morning. And I've been around with Chuka Uzeze. Chuka, thanks for coming.
Thank you, viewers, and do have a nice day.
All right. My name is Sijama Uche. Thank you very much for joining us. Though you didn't call in, maybe we were giving you exactly what you want, but do remember to join us because this is for you and I. Thank you. Do have a good day.